everyone. You are now tuned in to Frequency Modulation 228. Welcome to the studio. On here we will be showcasing talent of all ranges and walks of life. We are here to bring in the future. So sit back and relax before the radio show. What's up, y'all? TXNITRUE here for Anyone Can Thrive Studios. This is before the radio show. Today we got a super dope interview. It's gonna be homie's first interview. We got Yosef Tawari, Big MACH0 up in the building. What's good, bro? How you doing?
What's up, bro? What's going on?
Doing good. I'm doing good. This is your son, Justin, right?
Yeah, Justin.
Yeah, Justin. Hell yeah. So, let the people know a little bit about you. Like, where are you from?
Well, I'm originally from New York. I'm from the Bronx, Boogie Down. Represent, of course, you know. I've been here like 10 years. I got here in 2015, a little over 10 years. It's got a different flair when it comes to hip-hop, you know, bringing that East Coast vibe over here to the Midwest and, you know, trying to see how y'all feel it.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah.
So you said Boogie Down, where's that at?
The Bronx, yeah.
Bronx? Oh, yeah. How was it growing up there when you were younger?
Oh, man, it was crazy, you know, of course, that's, you know, where hip-hop was started, that's where it was created, you know, so yeah. Hip-hop is a big part of the culture over there in New York, and I was brought up a lot with hip-hop and R&B, all different kind of genres of music, but I also brought my kids up with the same thing, so I like all types of music, but again, I'm going to bring that different East Coast flair, that East Coast vibe to the Midwest, and so far they've been accepting it, you know. We just did a nice show last weekend and it was good feedback, so what's up. Hell yeah.
So you were born and raised there?
Yeah, born and raised in the Bronx.
Nice. How was it?
4 blocks from Yankee Stadium, sit of the South Bronx by the 4 and the D train. Again, the culture is a lot different from the culture over here, but you're gonna see it in my music, and that's why you see it in my music, because being brought up in the Bronx was tough. It wasn't easy. We had to struggle a little bit, but made it out, of course. And right now, people are still struggling over there in New York. So music is definitely a way to get out of that. So I'm happy to be able to do that.
Oh yeah.
Hell yeah.
So let's take it back. Like, how was it and going to school there and stuff?
School was crazy. Again, you know, I'm a little older, of course, you know, but school was nuts. The New York school system's a little different too, you know.
30 kids a classroom, you know.
Crazy.
Everything's gray and brick like a prison cell.
You're going through metal detectors. It's like going through a prison, believe it or not.
Yep.
You know, to raise a child right now in New York, it's not an easy thing. You know, it's not too many positive things. Unfortunately, education's at the bottom of the list when it comes to getting out of New York. You know, whether you're an athlete or whether you're a singer, you know, whether you dance, something like that is above education, unfortunately, when it comes to New York. And so if you can make it out, you're fortunate, believe it or not. Yeah. Hell yeah. Yeah.
Were you involved in any sports or music or anything in like high school?
I used to write like poetry in high school, and that's why I got into writing music. I won a few poetry contests. I won an award for poetry at my graduation. So I just turned that into music. I decided to just add a beat to it, and, you know, being that I wasn't camera shy neither, and I'm not mic shy, I was able to show my little skills and put it together. And, you know, it took a little time to actually come out. I didn't have that much faith in myself, you know, and becoming a father young and taking care of that first. But I don't know, my son here, he talked to me, he said, "Dad, let's put some shit out." And it's like, all right, let's do it. Here we are. So far, you know, it's good feedback. Got a few singles out. Had a great year last year. And I got some new stuff coming out this year. Hopefully, you know, you guys accept it as much as you did last year. So appreciate the fans and support. Yeah. And of course, Anyone Can Thrive Studios, TXNITRUE, you know.
Hell yeah. So how old are you? Was it like the 80s and 90s when you were growing up there, right?
Yeah, so I started writing basically in the early 90s, writing music. I was part of a little group over there, did a few shows over there, and but it kind of broke apart. Everybody went their separate ways. Everybody grew up, started families, and I started my own family too. And then later on in life, I still continued to do it, as a hobby. Still writing and still,
You would have a little corner ciphers. Everybody would meet up on the corner of a block, and whoever rhymed. Somebody put a Bluetooth speaker out with a beat.
Yeah.
That kind of shit.
Oh yeah.
Then so I paused for a little bit, and then you get bored as an artist. It always stays in you, no matter what. If it's a passion, it's a passion, And the passion came back out. Things changed in my life, and I decided to say, you know what, fuck it, I might as well just give it all.
Yeah.
And here we are, big macho, ready to do this.
It's interesting and cool to see it actually come into fruition, because some of his lines and some of his bars he's wrote when I was a child. I remember being 5-6 years old, watching him rehearse these songs on a karaoke machine, on some old ass shit that you gotta put a videotape in to play the music, you know? So to see it actually come alive and him be able to, use those bars and put those lines out there, and it be part of something great is what's up to see,
Yeah.
So yeah, it's come a long way, and
yeah.
and as for school and shit, like in New York, everybody plays basketball. If you weren't playing basketball, you don't know what you're doing, So I have a jersey somewhere in my stuff from when you played basketball in school. You were on the Predators.
Yeah.
It was number 5. It was an orange jersey. And yeah, so basketball was a big part of our thing growing up in New York in school.
And of course, martial arts,
Yeah. Everybody was into the MMA back then.
Yeah.
Martial arts is a big part of it too. A lot of good mentors, a lot of good people around us. But I try to keep good people around the kids, around the family,
Yeah.
to do positive things. And unfortunately, again, like I said, in that city, there's so many kids with so much energy, but not much to do. This is why New York creates great rappers.
Yeah.
Because you go through it, you live it.
It's diverse. There's so many different things going on that
When you
your
live
experience is so much broader than a small town. There's so much more you can go through. There's so much more you can experience. So much more you can just see sitting outside. Like, you don't even necessarily have to be the one going through the issue, but just people watching for 5 minutes, you'll see someone go through this problem, and you're like, now I know when I go through that, not to do it that way, because that didn't work.
Yeah.
So it teaches you a lot, and you learn a lot just from sitting outside on your porch. I was grateful to grow up in a house in the Bronx, so we had a little spot where we could just sit and watch, and you would see all this shit happen. And by the time you were old enough to have your own issues, you kind of had it figured out, So city is a wild place, because it make you grow up real fast.
Yeah.
Even when you're not trying to,
Yeah.
So
we used to sit out there in the winters and watch, because we lived on a hill, and just watch the cars just slide all over the place. Be out there smoking and just watch the cars.
Everybody
still think he's gonna make it up the hill.
Everybody start pulling out dollars in bed. How much you want to bet that blue car's not gonna make it? I got $5.
Start sliding backwards, running into other cars, and it's like, wow,
Crazy.
New York has changed a lot since then, but it was an enjoyable time. 169, of course, represent Walton Ave, Grand Concourse. You know who you are.
A lot of people think big cities and metropolitan areas are like these big, scary, dangerous areas, and they're just like anywhere else. People are going to be people. You're going to have your knuckleheads, but it's all culture and family. Realistically, everybody knows each other. Every day you see the same person, say what's up.
Yeah.
And it becomes routine, and it's almost small town living in a big city, because your general area is so diverse, but at the same time, everyone's the same people.
Puerto Ricans, Asians, whites, Mexicans, all together living in one area. We got all these different mixed kids just running around.
Yeah.
It's a trip to go into a Chinese store and order some food, and they talk back to you in Spanish.
Yeah.
Everybody, because they so assimilated. They've been there for years.
Chopped cheese, getting your bacon, egg, and cheese in the morning. Getting your pizza, even walking into halals, right? Going to a halal store, they straight Muslim talking to you in Spanish.
Yeah.
That's how diverse New York is, and And again, through my music, I mean, that's what helped me, you know, being raised and going through a lot of things, you know, a lot of adversity, and be able to channel that through my music is just, it's amazing how you can do that. And it's almost gets things off your chest a little bit, you know, especially once you get my age and the shit that you've been through. And then you look at your seed and you go, damn, I got him out of that shit too, you know, because that shit is crazy right now over there. New York right now is just wilding over there right now. I was over there about 2 years ago, and it was like, I need to get back to Colorado, for real.
Yeah.
It's getting crazy, from the gangs to, you know, you got young kids walking around with burners and shit. It's crazy.
Yeah.
You know, now we legal over there, so everybody's just walking around high. Hopefully that helped. But you're talking, you know, what, 8 million people over there? It's a lot of people, man. It's a lot of people. Parking is crazy too.
Yeah, I bet.
Hell yeah.
So
I got back quick. I was like, nah, I'm going back to Pueblo.
Yeah.
Word.
So let's dive deeper on like some of those experiences of like, so what from New York still lives in you like right now, and being a young father. You said you were both black belts.
Yes.
Yeah, you
yes.
black belts. So like some stuff like that. Like let's go into dive a little bit deeper, like into the experiences that helped shape you to be a better father and be disciplined who you are now.
I started martial arts very young, and I got into it. I started teaching premier martial arts, and was able to get my black belt there. My son was just, you know, he's my little protege, you know. He looked up to me, and that was a positive thing that he looked up to me for, and he was very proud. So my oldest son, he wasn't into it. My oldest son, he's a tattoo artist. He does his own thing. He wasn't too into it, you know. But he was, you know, and he was stuck by my leg and went all the way through. And to the point that we were both teaching classes together, you know, to kids from 3 to 15, 18 years old.
We had a gym at one point in a sky-rise building on 31st Street, blocks from Times Square. Something that people, you know, pay millions of dollars for, you know.
I wanted to get back to the community, you know, because it was martial arts, which I think is something that's very positive to be around kids. It makes them exert that energy that they have in a positive way. So
that's one of the issues. There's so many children and not enough things to do. You know, you could build so many parks and so many kids could fit on the playground before you run out of shit to do. And that kind of causes the youth to look for trouble, you know, because there ain't shit else to do, you know. So we started a martial art class like straight out of my living room, first floor of the house. You know?
Turned my whole living room into a gym. Was taking kids free. We didn't charge.
Yeah.
We took donations for equipment.
Yeah.
But we didn't charge, and not only that, but we did help parents with you know, basically with childcare too. You know, to let parents work a little bit longer.
And I was 14 at the time, you know, so I was his assistant, and I was a child too, running a child's class, you know, so it worked out, and we helped a lot of children, you know, if I can get a perception of discipline and respect and whatever, you know. And we had parents coming to me like, you know, my kid comes home and does their homework right away because they said that they don't want to miss martial arts class, you know.
Yeah.
And these are kids that were breaking windows and, you know, robbing shit not too long ago, you know. So it was nice to make a difference there, and as much as you can, you know. And teach these kids some respect and discipline. And
there was one point I think we had like 30 kids in there.
Yeah. It got to a point that we had to rent out a spot and start charging people because we had at one point we had 90 something students. Like,
and again, we weren't charging anything. We were just doing it, you know, to get back to the community and get our kids in our neighborhood something positive to do.
Yeah.
Because, you know, and I knew that was something that they paid attention to. Like, you want to fight? Come fight in the mat and do it legally where you're not going to get in trouble and do it safely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and
we would bring 2 kids that had beef, you know, and we would train them up and let them figure it out. And at the end of the day, they were homies, you know.
They were friends. They were classmates.
Yeah.
We even did that with gang members. We had gang members of 2 different gangs, and they didn't even realize they were in there giving each other high fives and chilling, and they were 2 rival gang members, you know.
Yeah.
And it brought people together, and you know, at the same time, we had our New York culture, so we had our food and our music. You know, we would host our class, and then, you know, the older kids would chill, we'd go play basketball, you know, and it became almost a community center of sorts, you know.
My oldest son met somebody from Pueblo, and he moved over here. And comes one of my first grandchildren, you know, and we just followed, and we decided just to get out of New York for a little bit. It was about that time to, you know, change venues, you could say, and see the open space, to see what's going on. Never seen mountains before.
Yeah.
You know, I never been hunting, I never been fishing. It was things that I wanted to do, you know, and I knew this was the place to do it. New York is crazy. And, you know, I've done everything else. I mean, if anybody could visit New York. It's an awesome fucking place. I mean, the food, the nightlife, the music, you know, the culture is awesome. It's great. You know, I'll never forget back home. And I am a Puerto Rican from the Bronx, you know, but visit. Hell yeah. I tell everybody, you got to visit at least once.
And we
True to you, Tom.
Yeah.
We always had a natural passion for cannabis, you know. We love to smoke, and besides martial arts, that was the thing that I did. You know, I grew, and when we realized that we could come over here and I could, you know, do that legally and not risk getting in trouble or whatever, and still do what I love, you know, we came and we landed in Denver, and we got out the doors of the airport. The doors of the airport open like this out of DIA, and we get outside, and the first thing that hits us, some fucking dank ass shit. Yeah. Somebody was smoking some fire right there.
And we
didn't make it to the parking lot yet. We both looked at each other. We both looked at each other, started giggling. It was like, yo, that's crazy. And then right after that, you just get this whiff of fresh air. You know, because New York is so closed off and everything's so close together that you just getting a whole bunch of pollution. Like, fresh air don't exist unless you outside the city, you know? Yeah. So to like get some fresh mountain air and be at elevation and that shit be crisp and clean, it was like, we were standing outside like, and people were walking past us looking at us like we were crazy. They're like, what the fuck is wrong with these people? And we're just like,
I mean, it's been 10 years. Yeah. I see deer and I'm still like, oh shit, fucking deer. And everybody's like, dude, we don't see shit like that in New York. Skunks, deers, and raccoons and shit. Yeah. So when I still see, even now, I'm like, the fuck is that, you know?
Shit, we didn't even have trees. About 2 years before we moved, they did a project where they went through and broke the cement and put 4 or 5 trees on every street, because you didn't even see a fucking tree. You know, like you had to go to a park to see a tree. And coming out here, it's like everything looks so giant. You know, there's so much open space, and it's like you realize how small things are. You know?
And you see the different culture. I mean, even now, I mean, we're in the middle of anywhere. It could be in the middle of a store, a restaurant. We talking, people think we argue because we loud. We loud and the way we talk. Of course, we potty mouths. We got the F-bombs all over the fucking place, and
the New York coming over.
Security has come over like a Walmart.
Seem
like,
aggressive,
you're fighting over here. Like, nah, that's the way we talk. You know, it's just you have to be loud. It's a loud city. Or if I talk low, you won't be able to hear me. You be like,
go to a restaurant to eat. They're like, why the fuck they having so much fun over there, and we just over here quiet.
Yeah. But again, I've been here 10 years. I consider myself a Puebloan now. I'm from Pueblo. I'm from Colorado. That's what I'm repping right now. You know, of course, I got my East Coast flair that I'm never gonna leave, but I'm repping CO right now and trying to bring this music over here. You know, and put Pueblo up on the map a little bit.
Hell yeah!
Because we got some nice artists over here, man. We got some good peoples.
Yeah.
Starting with even yourself, you know, and I think we could do it. We could get up on that map.
Yeah.
And change things.
Yeah.
That's what I'm about. Yeah. That's the reason why, you know, I want to get exposure. Every show, anything that's coming up. We was talking about that summer jam, that summer stuff. If we could get something up in there, I don't care if it's one song. Yep. You know, let's put our names up there. Let people know that this artist coming out of Pueblo.
Yeah.
And because
I got some stuff in the work too that I haven't even got to tell you guys about. It's new, but I'm planning this community bonfire, and I'm gonna have probably a few different people come that want to perform. I got this one guy that wants to play some music. He's like a local rock band. He does like indie music and stuff like that. But I was getting together with a bunch of people because I do the local farmers markets and shit. And they were saying like one way to get a bunch of people together, you know, and get them knowing is music and fire, you know. So I'm gonna build this big giant bonfire and I'm gonna plan it out. And I would like to invite some different artists to do kind of like a free event to let the community know that my farm is there on the map, and I'm trying to outreach, to the community and do some building and see if
Just
you
like
know,
the
some stuff
pop-up, the
can be built
pop-up show
there.
that we just did, that was awesome. That charity event for suicide prevention was, that awareness was there. There was a lot of people there.
Right.
Quite a few dollars was raised. So
It's been a thing in Pueblo. I know a few people have passed away in the last couple of years, and
That's why
mental health is a serious
mental health
thing.
serious. That's why
Can't be ignored.
Look out for my next song.
Yeah.
Memo to My Mind is about mental health. It's sick. It's gonna come out soon.
Yeah, so New York is known as the concrete jungle,
Hell yeah.
and that's super dope how you guys were able to give back to the community like that.
Right.
So
Yeah,
like
yeah.
around that time, music goes into that a lot as well.
Yes.
Like just bringing the community together. You mentioned
Yeah.
ciphers and stuff. So like after you're doing the martial arts stuff, did you guys start incorporating music into it too?
Yeah, because again, music was something that, again, I did a lot of poetry, so it was something I wrote a lot. I used to always stay writing. And I was just turning all my poetry basically into songs. And that's the reason why if you see most of my songs, it's a lot of love songs going on. It's just, I'm a master at that for some reason.
Yeah.
And I might as well, if I master it, I might as well turn that into some music, into some positive music to where it can entertain people and, make people feel good and dedicate songs to people and, wedding songs. And, I'm trying to get that fan base where they kind of forgot about that fan base. Yeah, I can go hardcore. We all can go hardcore. But how about that fan base that's looking for that nice soft song when you're driving home, or you're with your lady and you want to, get into that mood? Throw Big MACH0 on,
Yeah.
It's gonna get you there.
Music was always kind of that vibe in New York, in the sense of it would happen randomly. We would be walking down the street and, be that homie that's trying to make some money playing his, bucket upside down. And he's him doing a sick beat, all of a sudden someone chimes in that got a rhyme, and they drop a rhyme, and all of a sudden he's into it and he's playing that beat better, and then all of a sudden homie's walking down the block and he got a accordion. The man starts playing the accordion. All these people from completely different cultures,
Sitting on the subway.
Sitting on the subway.
Sitting on the subway, they come on and they throw on a little beat, and you see somebody throw a few verses on.
Music is technically our original.
And I've
form.
opened up on my way to work in the morning, and fuck it, I got a verse for that. Boom, 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 hit a little verse or something.
Right.
That's New York for you, bro.
It was our original form of communication. That's how we talked to each other back then. Was music.
Yeah.
And when you realize that you can connect more with music, gotta use it more. People listen. And that's the reason why now I'm just, I'm trying to make my music go as forward as much as possible. I want people to hear what I gotta say.
Yeah.
I want people to hear the stories, and that's why this next one coming up with Memo My Mind is basically a relationship between me and my mind and how you deal with mental health. And a lot of people see other people's mental health but don't see their own. And I think with this song coming out, this is what you're gonna get.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna be able to see how you can talk to yourself and question your own mind.
Yeah. So for you, Mach, like Biggie's from Brooklyn, like Nas, them guys like that are from New York and stuff. Were they like big inspirations for you during that time? And did you ever have like any interactions or go to shows during that time?
Both poets. I was able to see Biggie before he passed away. I went to one concert right before he passed away, and it was great. It was before he went to LA, and I thank God I was able to at least do that one time. Because again, we're talking about poets.
Yeah.
Nas, Biggie. It's of course it's cliche when you say everybody goes, who's the best, Biggie, Nas, Pac, But when you're from New York and you feel what Biggie's talking about, because he's talking about home.
Yeah.
You feel what Nas is talking about. And all the New York artists, from Cardi all the way to Nas, and when you're from New York, you feel like you got obligation to stick up, to be up at that level, because it's what people expect. Oh shit, he's from New York. Oh shit, you hear that accent. Let's see his flow. His flow gotta be right. I mean, Big Pun's from my neighborhood, Fat Joe's from my neighborhood, Cardi B's from my neighborhood. And so if you're gonna come out, you gotta come out strong representing the Bronx.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So what was it like knowing that right now, knowing that all those artists, the names that you named, are big artists. What is that like for you thinking about that? Because New York is one of the places like Houston, Atlanta, California,
It's a hub.
Los Angeles in California, like where artists actually come from and blow up from. So what is that like for you?
Well, being that again, they're all from our backyards. You know, we all have the same backyard.
Huh.
So we all have the same stories. We all have the same upbringing. So being that we can express that upbringing and that same backyard, express it through our music, that's what makes it an East Coast flair. That's what makes it a little different. You know, it's living it. When you live it, it's like, you know, this is what I could bring. You're not capping in no way. You're not talking shit. You're not, you know, I'm from Peekskill, from Buffalo, or something like that. Was, you know, represent Peekskill, Buffalo, no hating, but, you know, I got a lot of people that go, you know, I'm from New York. Where you from? I'm from Buffalo. Listen, I'm from New York City. I'm from the South Bronx. It's a whole different jungle, you know, than I'm up by Niagara Falls.
Yeah, Buffalo's up north and shit.
Yeah.
You know, so represent all of New York and New York State too, but you know, New York City is a whole different jungle, it's a whole different game, and this is why it brought so many great artists like Big Pun, Fat Joe, Cardi.
Yeah.
You know,
They have more stories to tell, like you were saying, coming from
Hell yeah.
being in a high rise
Hell yeah.
where you have 30 floor apartments and everybody's crammed into one building and stuff.
Hell yeah.
He has some good point of references in the 90s, because when I was growing up, he worked at a big club.
Who did Biggie?
My father.
I did.
He worked at a big club
Hold
called
that club
Exit.
exit.
And that club used to host a lot of the hip hop people back then. So he used to see these people come to the door and hang their jackets for them, you know, and then hear their sets and, you know, bring them water bottles and whatever, you know. So he was around it a lot, you know, and.
So I remember when Pun came on the stage, and he was so big and so fucking, he had to sit down on a chair, and he was going. So he shut the music down. He was like, yo, anybody that want to come up right now and show your shit. Man, I was standing there like this, and I'm an employee, and I'm like, damn, I should go up there because I had some hot shit, you know?
Yeah.
But I was so fucking nervous, bro.
And you were at work.
And I was at work, and I'm like, if I go up there and my boss see me up there, I'm done. Like, what the fuck you doing on stage, you know? But I felt that was an opportunity. I ain't gonna lie. I felt that was an opportunity that I lost. Because Terror Squad was up there. And I'm sure that if I would have got up there on that mic and showed them what I got, I would have been part of Terror Squad right now.
Yeah. Big MACH0 who you are right now would have happened then.
But I guess it wasn't meant to be, you know? Because if it was meant, then it would have happened.
Yeah.
But I kind of felt a lot of regret that day. After that day, I was like, damn, I had an opportunity to go up to open mic in front of Big Pun and Fat Joe and show them my shit. And being that I'm from the Bronx and I'm Puerto Rican just like they are.
He had a leg up.
I had a little leg up, you know? And it was like, and I didn't take it because it was like, first of all, we in Club Exit. It's like 2,000 people in there. It was crazy.
Yeah.
It was the weekend of the Puerto Rican Day Parade in New York City. This was in the maybe the late 90s. And it was like, what? This is when Big Pun was on top, you know? And it was like, what? Am I going to go up there and do that? You know, even though I had my boy was like, yo, go up there. And I'm like,
You were with them?
Nah. It was my
Your older
boy, one of
son?
my best friends. And he kept tapping me like, because he knew I had skills like that, but I was just a little nervous, and I was like, I'm at work, you know, but you know what? The opportunity is going to come later on. You know, it took a lot of years, but look where we at, you know, and
yeah.
I feel good about it. You know, I feel good that my music is moving forward. And again, representing Pueblo, but bringing the New York flair, I think that's going to make me outstand a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Hell yeah.
That's crazy that you had opportunities like that. And
Hell yeah.
you could have took advantage of them back then.
And I
but-
swear, bro, I almost went up there, but I'm like, you know, I had a boss that he was from Persia. He owned the club.
Yeah.
And you know them Persian motherfuckers, you fuck up, they fire you right there, bro. Yeah. And it was like, I needed my job. I had kids to take care of, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I made great money, bro.
Yeah.
You know, I was making $800, $900 a night.
Yeah.
Tips and everything.
Tips and shit.
Hell yeah. And then I used to bring water, be at bar back too, bring water to all the fucking artists and shit.
Yeah.
I smoked with Big Pun. I smoked with fucking, what's his name, Busta Rhymes. All the artists that used to smoke in the back, I smoked with Redman and Method Man. With Mary J, there's a song that she did a video up in there. got to meet her. So I was meeting a lot of different artists, and this was something I wanted to do and shit. Hell yeah, that shit was the shit, bro.
Yeah.
That was a good experience.
So it's awesome that a lot of people deal with that. So you chose the path you could have done it all at the same time. You could have been a father and you could have been an artist, but you decided to be there for your children. Was that a motivation for you to do what you're doing now? And then, so like you said, your older son moved to Pueblo. That's one of the reasons you ended up being here in Pueblo?
Yeah. Just wanted to, follow the family, put the family back together over here, And it was a different venue. Get the fuck out of New York a little bit and see the rest of the world.
Yeah.
And it was like, fuck it, we're here. And then all of my music, I never gave up on music. I always kept writing and writing and writing. Again, I would write little shit here, little shit there, little shit here. And then things changed again over here. So, to where I was single now, and my son was like, "That just fuck it.
Do you?
Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's put it out."
Yeah.
And I know I waited a little bit long in age, but I'm like, I feel good. You know what I mean? I feel good. I look good. I'll be 50 this year, bro. But
yeah.
I'm ready to rock. I'm ready to go on tour and all that.
That's crazy, bro. I didn't know you were 50. I thought you were like 42 or something.
That's crazy. I'll be 50 in October. I'm 49.
How old is your oldest son then?
My oldest son is 34.
34, yeah.
Yeah, 34. 19?
He's 29.
19 when you had your first?
When
you had your first?
14.
14? Yeah. It's like me, my mom, and my dad my mom was 13 and my dad was 16. It's going to be 17.
I was 14 and my ex-wife was 16. His mom.
Yeah. So when you got here to Pueblo, well, you said you pulled up into Denver and you smelled the weed in the air.
Yeah.
Or you were already growing? Justin, you were already growing before?
We were growing weed over there legally. Over there, in my house over there.
Yeah.
Over there, if you get caught growing, cultivating, it's 5 years in prison.
Crazy.
Per plant.
Per plant.
Yeah. And I had like 50 plants.
It was like that here too.
We realized, oh shit, he got a gift, he can do something, might as well go to a state where it's legal.
Yeah.
And it was my dad passed away, so it was a lot of stupid shit back then. We just wanted to get the fuck up and change the venue.
New York was changing at that point too. There was a lot of Dominicans and immigrants coming in, and we had a building put next to us that was like a shelter apartment, and it got rough. It's the homeless population turned into, the fentanyl population, and
yeah, that shit's sad.
Yeah, we just needed to get out of there at that point.
Yeah.
A lot of people that we cared about started dying.
Yeah.
We lost a bunch of good people to that shit. So.
Yeah. So was that the focus when you moved here was to focus on growing or the music?
Growing and basically, music wasn't a big motivation when we first got here, but it was definitely a hobby. It was something I was still doing.
Yeah, we always had a room with a piano and we always had somewhere where we wanted to go be creative. You could,
Yeah. We would get drunk, me and my sons, because they both evasive drink. Do ciphers and shit.
Oh yeah.
Just do ciphers and record that shit, And then I was like, fuck it, let me get serious with it, I got so much shit written. Robbing and Sticking. See Robbing and Sticking? I wrote that shit more than 10 years ago.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I should have asked you that. Like, so what's the story behind that then? Like Robbing and Sticking, if you wrote it 10 years ago.
I wrote it over 10 years ago. It was something that I was part of a group that was called Original Black Plague. My boy Jason Cousins. He was a model for Boss. He was raised in the hood with us, but he was a good looking fucking black kid. And they picked him up as a model for Hugo Boss and for Armani. And he made it big. He made it onto some commercials and he got onto some shows. He did like some extras on some shows, so he was making money. He met this white chick, and her dad was the owner of like some of the biggest studios in New York. Biggest studios in New York.
Yeah.
And so he had access to the studios because that's his wife. He's the son-in-law. Mm-hmm. So not only that, but he had a beautiful apartment in downtown Manhattan. It was like Richie neighborhood. We over there from the hood. He invites us, like 10 of us. We from the hood. We get off the fucking subway. We are like on 21st Street and fucking like 5th Avenue. going high-rise building with fucking doorman and everything. And they're like, I think you're in the wrong place. We're like, no, we're here to see Jason Cousins. He was like, oh shit. We go up. He had a studio, bro, a full studio in his apartment.
That's sick.
Full studio in his apartment. Crazy. So that's the first day I picked up a pad. My boy Light, his name was Light. He was nice, man. This Puerto Rican kid was fucking nice. His freestyle was sick. So Light was the protege for Jay because he used to do it. I used to just chill with them, but then I started getting into it. And I remember the first thing I wrote, he was like, "You're gonna write some shit," and I was like, "Original." And it's called Original Black Plague, which is the name of the group. OBP, Original Black Plague. So he was like, "Yo, you're gonna try to write some shit." So he put a beat on. Shit, I started writing. I was like, I don't know, I can't write with the fucking beat. I gotta write quiet.
Yeah,
that's the way I write still. I don't write with a beat. I write quiet and then I find the beat.
Yeah.
I do shit backwards. I'm a little awkward. A little strange. Weird if you want. So I wrote, you see me, you see OBP in this New York streets, leading MC fleas, freaking the freaks. So that was like the first thing I wrote. And I would never forget that shit. This is like, bro, this is more than 20 years ago, bro. Mm-hmm. More than 20. And I wrote that and it was like, what the fuck? I was like, oh shit, that shit sounds good. Then I wrote, spitting fire like the sun, you're done. Your first move is run like the wind. Your sin get burnt like gin. Hit you with the 4-pound tin till your chin. Rock a party from start to fin. Lyrical Kansas scene for triple bin dreams. I need to make the cream with this hip hop thing. So I wrote that. And it was like, what the fuck you just said? You know, and we're talking 20 years ago. That sounded crazy 20 years ago. It sounds crazy still.
Yeah, it does.
You know? And he went and he started the group and we did a few shows, local shows. And I was able to basically, I was more of a hype man. I wasn't getting big parts because the group was him, his Shakur, and Light, because they were nice. And that was the original. So I was just writing on the side, learning how to write. Light would help me write, and I kept writing and putting my poetry to shit. And I just started writing on my own shit, you know? Mm-hmm. But then everybody fell apart. Light eventually, you know, fortunately, he got hooked on some drugs and got fucked up. His family shipped him out. So Jason got a big fucking acting part and moved to California. So he got a big acting part, and Armani wanted him to move over there because he was a runway model.
Yeah.
So he started doing that. He broke out. And then his brother also too bounced. The whole group just fell apart. So that was the first time I was doing hip hop music. So after that, I just kept on my own. I bought myself a karaoke machine. That's when he talks about that. And just kept writing and doing like that on my own, you know. But now is where I really took it out.
Yeah.
Because remember, back then YouTube wasn't the way it was now, you know? And for you to put music out, you had to do record labels. There wasn't nobody doing no Spotify or fucking
print CDs and have them out.
DistroKid where you're doing shit on your own independently. Yeah. You had to be, in order for you to come out, you had to open up for somebody who already was on, and then they put you on, you know?
Yeah.
Yep. And that was the only way, like Fat Joe used to. Fat Joe put Pun on. He put, if you look at everybody, when you look at Cardi, I mean, she's the first one that started independent. She put her own money, in her own shit. And then you looked at that and you go, oh shit, you could do that. Mm-hmm. You don't have to be part of a big ass fucking record company to put your shit out. Let's do it.
Yeah.
You're not sitting in front of a fucking panel and shit, right, worried about who's gonna really like your shit.
Yeah. You
let the world decide now.
Right.
Which is pretty cool.
So that's the story behind Robin and Sticking.
Yeah, because the story,
knowing that it's gonna be,
and it was
like they're basically gonna rob and stick you. They're gonna take advantage.
That's the way it is in New York. Unfortunately, sometimes it's survival of the fittest. You have to survive. It's unfortunate. Sometimes you gotta do things that are not right. Mm-hmm. But if you're gonna do it, you might as well take it from the rich, not the poor. Remember that.
Yeah.
And
Robin Hood.
Exactly, Robin Hood style. And my cousin Carlos, when I wrote that, I was in the studio with Jason and my cousin Carlos was there, and we was gonna call it Batman and Robin. Batman and Robin.
Yeah.
So do with a bat. So I just switched it up because I said, okay, we're going to talk about sticking.
Yeah.
We're going to go straight up how we do it, how you do in the hood, robbing, sticking. You know, that's why in the beginning of it, I say I wear a mask. I wear a mask with no cape. I take the chain, your cross, and your faith. So, you know, I'm going deep. You know, I'm going to where when you have to survive and feed your family, this is what you got to do.
Yeah.
And that's, you know, unfortunately in New York, that's one of your first options. You know, because shit is tight, shit's expensive, shit is hard.
It's an experience to be in a neighborhood where there's so much poverty, and then right across the street there's so much money.
Yeah.
You know,
somebody's going through it in a $10 million house across the street.
You know, so somebody's balling right there, and you got a bunch of people struggling over here. You know, so when the money's right in your face, it's kind of the first thing that comes to your mind. Is, you know, why would I go through all this struggle and do all these things to survive when I can just take it from somebody that got too much, don't even need it.
Yeah.
You know?
And most of the time they don't even care about a lot of it.
And that's the perspective. It's not robbing on some, I'm just gonna go into a store and stick up the store to try to make this money. You know,
go stick up my local bodega.
No, we sticking from the people, you know, in Manhattan that realistically they don't even care.
Yeah. Yeah.
They got insurance for their watches and their stuff. You feel me?
Like, it's crazy to see,
you know?
to see that much diversity where you can take a train ride and have apartments that are $23,000 a month rent.
Yeah.
$23,000 a month rent.
And on that same street, there's kids with no shoes.
And on that same, yeah, exactly. There's homeless people. You got people walking to the welfare department, passing these buildings on the way to welfare to try to get little food stamps. It's ironic.
It's a fucked up picture.
It's a little ironic, you know, and as you see that, that's what inspires you as an artist, those experiences. And you go, you know what, I'm going to show the world what I went through and what I had to go through, and what they're still going through in New York.
Yeah.
And not only New York, but look at here in Pueblo, it's everywhere. It's every little city now.
Yeah.
It's not only big cities, little cities too that's dealing with that.
Yeah.
And sometimes you got to rob and stick to get through, to put something on the plate.
Yeah.
So your babies don't go to sleep fucking hungry.
Yeah.
So,
it's how it is coming from the hood for sure.
you know,
Anywhere.
So I wanted to just show people this is what you gotta do sometimes, unfortunately.
Yeah.
You know, and hopefully you can learn off of something positive, because, you know, I'd be lying to say if I didn't. But we had to, you know what I mean? But look, we're doing things positive now, because you look at that, you turn that experience into something positive that you can do now, like music.
Yeah.
So sometimes you have to go through negative things to make that story and turn into a positive thing like music. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Poetry, yeah.
Yeah. I took it the same way too. That's why I flipped my verse like off of yours and went the same way. And I took it, I think, bigger like that too. So I took it in the perspective of the way you said it, but then also in the same way from the big man doing the same exact thing, flip side, and then vice versa. And then just how culture can be. And it's crazy that
because there's something that we can't
compare things in music.
You can't forget about it. You know, it's part of his culture. Robin Sticking is part of everybody's culture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
even the big men.
He goes all the way back to the caveman days where somebody would break in and just take somebody's lady by the hair.
Yeah.
It's just the way it is. Sometimes you got to survive, and it's survival of the fittest no matter where you are.
So, what do you want people to think of when they hear Big MACH and your stuff coming out going forward?
Well, I want them to think of fun vibes. Again, a lot of my stuff is on the lovey-dovey side, which I don't mind. You know, I like doing. But I want to show two sides of Big MACH0. I want to show that I have a hardcore side for those fans, and I have a nice soft side for those other fans. You know, the ladies know who you are. But fun. It's going to be a fun vibe, a summer vibe. I got a lot of things in my mind ready for this summer. I want to enjoy the music. I want you to feel it. I want you to relate. And I think that's key. I think key is
right.
Music you can relate to, where you can listen to and go, oh shit, I feel what he's saying. You know, I went through that, or I have somebody that's going through that. Just like Memo to My Mind, that mental health song that I'm coming out with now. That's gonna hit home to a lot of people. And I want it to, because it's something that, again, that we push to the side often, and can't forget about it. So I'm trying to bring music back into the home, you know, back into the vibe where you enjoy it. It's not just some AI shit or some hardcore shit where you can't even relate to what we're talking about, nonsense like yachts and millions of dollars and
Polo G shit and stuff like that.
Let's stay relatable.
NBA
Let's stay relatable. Stay relatable, and I think that's my key word is relatable.
Oh yeah. So coming back into the music, what's something that you've been learning as an artist to put you back into your field? You've been practicing the entire time that you've been doing it, but getting back into the field now, what's something that you've been learning, and what was it like getting back into the studio for these tracks that we just did?
It's been, first of all, it's been a beautiful experience. I mean, again, it was a passion, and for a passion to unburn and then to resurface again, I think it comes out even better the second time. Because you look back and you go, nah, I'm not gonna hesitate the way I did before. I'm gonna have more faith in myself. I think with the faith that I have in myself, I'm gonna come out with great stuff. And I'm ready. It's a passion that's burning, and this fire is burning. I'm ready just to put everything out there and for all the fans and give you what you want to hear. Give you something different and give you a great vibe. Hell yeah.
So let's talk about the 2 music videos that we did. I directed them for you, but the music was there. You already had your ideas and your plans around it. So what do you want those to be meant to the people, like as a story, and let them know where to find them?
Well, of course, you know, I got Don't Go, which is it's a beautiful song, you know, to your lady, saying that, you know, you need her not to go and you need to stay in your life. You know, there's a lot of relationships right now that are going through shit, and basically you can get that message with this song. I mean, it's a beautiful song. You can throw it in your wedding, use it the way you want, but it's a good vibe. It's a positive song. Then if you look at the end of Don't Go, it's to be continued. So basically, I wanted to do almost like a trilogy. So I went with Fuck the World. You know, after Don't Go, and at the end of the video that you see in Don't Go, I proposed. The next song is Fuck the World, basically me and you. So we are already together. You know, we're saying Fuck the World, it's me and you. That's a beautiful follow-up song. You got to catch that one too. That's on all platforms, including YouTube. And I got a third song coming out. It's Fancy Face, that one. Tony don't even know about yet. But that one's complete too. And it's going to be a third part of that song. And it's basically now me telling my wife how beautiful she is and the fancy face that she has, and I appreciate her. So ladies, look out for that third trilogy. It's gonna be a nice one. And then of course I got the one with mental health coming up. So that's Memo to My Mind. That's gonna be, again, it's gonna hit home. Everybody's gonna feel that one. And hopefully I'll come out with a few more projects too. I want to get together with Tony and see if we can collaborate and do some stuff. I met quite a few artists last Saturday, so it was collaborations could come around. You know, we can show everybody what Colorado can bring together. So I'm looking forward to a lot of big things. You know, hopefully, you know, I could be part of whatever shows come up. You know, I'm willing to do whatever. Call me, contact me. You know, I'm on Instagram, I'm on TikTok, YouTube, all platforms, Facebook. If not, contact Tony if you need me. You know, he's one producer I'm always going to work with. Anyone could drive studios. You know, if you guys look for anything, this is the place to be, for real. Word.
Oh yeah, bro, I appreciate the shout out.
Hell yeah.
Love. So, second. Trying to see if I have anything else. We might just cut it there. Right, okay. What's a piece of advice that you would have gave yourself 20, 15 years ago? Like we were talking about, having the opportunity to perform in front of Big Pun, shit like that. What piece of advice would you have given yourself aside from now if you could have took a different path then?
I think the first word is don't hesitate. I would tell myself, have more faith in yourself, believe in yourself more, follow your dreams. Don't listen to anyone, don't let anybody influence that, because you got a lot of haters. I had a lot of people who told me I wasn't going to be able to do it. I got a lot of people saying that maybe I was too old to do it. You know, being from New York or being from the Bronx, I felt that experience. I had it, but I was just afraid to unleash it. You know, so if I had the chance to look back and tell myself, I would say unleash it without hesitation. Stay motivated. Follow your dreams, because life is short. Life is once, and you know, look, I'm here doing it now. But I think if I would have did this 20 years ago, it would have been crazy. I would have been in a whole different place. So regrets, I don't regret and don't say I should have. I hate to say I should have, because, you know, God makes it what it is. It is your destiny. When it happens, it happens. But again, if I was able to look back, I would definitely say don't hesitate. Just follow your dreams, you know, and just go for it. You know, the most you can do is fail, you know?
Yeah.
But
anyone can thrive, right?
you gotta be in it. Basically, you gotta be in it to win it.
Anyone can thrive, only if you do it.
But you gotta chase it. You gotta be in it. You know, you gotta be willing to put that work in, and that's what I'm trying to do now. You know, they say it's never too late. So, you know, music is music. You got people from kids to old people singing. You know, so I feel great. I'm ready to do this. So, hell yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, yo, there it is, y'all. Big MACH, we're ready to do this, man. It was dope to be able to sit down and talk with you. We've already worked quite a bit together, and a lot of this I didn't get to know, so it was cool to be able to sit down with you and learn a little bit more about you. And this definitely won't be the last. We'll have a lot more conversations and a lot more content.
Absolutely.
Y'all make sure you check out his videos and follow him. Let the people know where they can find you and how they could support you.
Hell yeah. Well, you know, of course, you got Big MACH0 Productions. You can see it right here. YouTube.
Yep.
TikTok, Instagram.
All the music.
It's all Big MACH0. Just Google me. You're going to see it. I'm all over. Right now, you know, I'm trying to get more exposure. Anybody who has any shows or ready to come up, I'm ready to do this. I'm going to hook up with Tone and see what, you know, whatever local stuff we can do. Even non-local, I'm ready to travel and everything. So, Colorado, coming out this summer, man. Support. Hell yeah. Anyone can thrive. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Pick up.
Yeah. This was a dope interview, bro. I appreciate being able to give you the platform to break out and finally do what you're ready to do now. It's your time to shine, bro.
Hell yeah.
And yo, anyone can thrive. This was Before the Radio Show, y'all. We appreciate y'all. Make sure you tap in, subscribe, like the channel, turn on that bell button for notifications, and follow all collaborators for more. We out.